One of the baits that seems to get thrown all over the country is a spinnerbait, and we're going to go through spinnerbaits today. This is the new XPS, and of course you notice it's got a big eye. This is just a double willow blade, white with a little purple in it. Looks just like a shad. This is one of the best ways to catch fish. I'll show you how I rig it, what I throw it on. Of course, I throw it on an 8:3 to 1 or even a 6:8 gear ratio. And then of course on a 7 foot to maybe 7'4", something to that extent. You don't want to go too small on the rod, but you don't want to go too big either. I just use regular 20-pound, 15 to 20-pound XPS line, just depending on how clear the water is. Every one I will tie just a simple Palmar knot on. One thing you want to make sure when you're tying this knot is to not pull this end right here. You want to pull the tag in that you have, so where that you pinch that line, it's not going back up to the spool. So right there, of course, we'll take this, cut it, and now you're ready to go with a nice XPS spinnerbait. The reason I'm going to throw this one today is because the water's fairly clear, the sun's really high, we've had a little bit of wind, but I don't want anything too bright. The water looks good, everything's kind of good, so I'm going to stick with the regular shad pattern with just a double willow. Looks perfect, should be able to catch some fish on it. But let's go into why do you throw different blades? Why do you throw different colors? One of the best time of years to throw a spinnerbait, of course, is in the spring and in the fall when the shad are really, really aggressive. And different colors, you know, one of the questions that we get all the time is why a chartreuse one? Why a shad looking color one? Why a red one? We're gonna go into that a little bit. So we'll start with this one. This is for a little bit murkier water. This just has a Colorado and an Indiana blade on it. It's for a little bit dirtier water, maybe a little rougher water. This bait is actually gonna go a little bit slower. It's gonna stay higher up in the water column because of these bigger blades. And it's got a little chartreuse to it. Let the fish tell you how they want it. Now, if you get into really dirty water, so you get into a flood just came through, the water's really dirty, but there's still big fish. You know the fish are in the area. Pick up one of these big Colorado gold blade, real bright. Smallmouth love this color, but big bass, you know, largemouth love it too down in the south in the muddy water. So that's when you're gonna throw this spinnerbait. You don't wanna throw a silver one with a real light looking skirt on it because the fish just aren't gonna see it and they're probably not gonna react to it. To where you come to this one, when the gizzard shad or the thread fins are really going to town, got a little chartreuse, a little brown, but you have an Indiana blade and then you have a little blade on it, a little Colorado blade. It's gonna stay in, kind of in between the double willow and then the single Colorado. They're all gonna stay higher up. This one goes just a little bit lower in the water column. So pay attention to that. Make sure you have a bunch of different blades, bunch of different colors. And hey, these are the spinnerbaits I throw. XPS brand, #1 in my book. For the spinnerbait, this double willow is what we're throwing, the shad color. It's a great time to throw it. This is a good year-round bait, but in the fall when those little shad start coming up and getting up to the bank and coming out of that deep water, it's still a little warm and a little early, but hopefully we can try to get a bite here. It's just one of those things where when their feed bag turns on and you're throwing a spinnerbait, it is a fun way to catch fish. These little shaded banks sometimes too helps. Shad feels safe up there in the shade. You can see all the little shad jumping, little minnows jumping through there. Should be a bite here any minute. Nice stomp, nice lay down right there. Should have been a bite. There he is, right by that lay down. That's what we're after. Nice spotted bass. There we go. Spinnerbait, great time of year. Actually, it's a largemouth, but there is what you call a spinnerbait bass. As you can see, we have a ton of windy, got another little lay down right there. We're gonna let this one go and catch another one. So as you can see, we just caught one by that stump back there, and you can see we have another stump right here. You've got some pea gravel, comes to a rocky point, little grass on it. The river channel comes down and hits right here. It's a great place to try to catch a nice bass on a spinnerbait. You don't want to throw it right on the target. You'll want to throw it and past the target and bring it to it. Because the spinnerbait's pretty heavy bait, pretty loud, so you want to throw it past the target and then bring it to the target right next to the stump or the lay down or the grass patch. You don't want to throw right on it. So, you know, spinnerbaits, you can go from one extreme to the other and then kind of in between. But this is pretty clear water, little breeze on it. The bait and the fish seem to be pretty small in this area. So that's why we're throwing the double willow. But now if we were, say, in the winter time, or, you know, a flood had come through and the water was really dirty, that's when we'd be throwing that chartreuse one with the big gold blade, big Colorado blade, and just slow rolling it along, you know, same type of stuff, but just really fishing it really slow and taking your time and really being precise with that, to where this, you're just kind of going down the bank, trying to find where the fish are. The big chartreuse and gold blade, get ready for a big bite on that, but you're not gonna get as many. So one thing with spinnerbaits, you know, they have 958,000 different colors. For me, it's just matching the hatch. White, chartreuse, white and chartreuse, just depending on watercolor. And you might have to go through a couple of different baits to see, you know, what color they're actually eating better. And then also the blades too. Sometimes you've got Indiana, you've got Colorado and willow. You've got all kinds of different ones. Just kind of go through them both, kind of get in an area where there's fish and, you know, switch it up a little bit. Even if you catch one on one, doesn't mean don't tie on another one there in just a little bit and see if you can't catch a couple of more. That means they were biting that color or that blade a little bit better. The willow blades seem to stay a little higher in the water. You know, depending on how fast you reel the bait, to where like a big Colorado, you're gonna have that thing real slow and just thumping down there, thump, 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 thump. Indiana blades kind of in between. This one, just a double willow. I think that's what the shad and the sides of the bait fish are right there. You can try all different colors, shapes, sizes. You know, you just have to go through a couple to see which one they're gonna like best. You know, different color blades, usually silver and gold. If you get really muddy water, they have a red blade and a chartreuse blade with smallmouth like, but really muddy water like that Arkansas red color's really good. But there again, you know, let the fish tell you which one they really like. That's why you always want to have a couple different sizes, couple different blades, couple different colors. You know, the fish will tell you one way or the other. We're gonna switch just kind of what we talked about. The water got a little bit more stained in here as we got off the main river. We're gonna switch up to a little bit of a chartreuse and white with the Indiana blades. Same size as far as, you know, a little ½ ounce, but just a little bit different blade action, a little bit different color, a little bit slower. So when it comes to spinnerbait fishing, make sure you pay attention to the color, make sure you pay attention to the blade sizes. What really makes that decision easy for me is water clarity. If it's really clear, you don't need, you know, the really big spinnerbaits, the really bright spinnerbaits, unless you're fishing for smallmouth. You know, just kind of go with the natural shad pattern. But then again, if you're in a lake that's got big fish, that has big gizzard shad, big shad, shiners, brim, something like that, match that hatch. Throw a big bladed spinnerbait that you're gonna have the opportunity to catch a big fish. All those things should help you catch more fish with an XPS spinnerbait.